give them gratitude for finding the way to wherever you're living now. But you, within your DNA, you take that culture with you, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. So if you fancy just a little bit of fun, putting your culture in there. So welcome to Feast for the Soul, and I'm Sue Cooper, as Sarah says. I'm the founder of MOM, M-O-M-M, Moments of Mass Mindfulness. And I'm so passionate about people coming together in community. I'm also passionate about people finding their way to a self-care, self-responsibility, self-awareness model of health and well-being. And for those who I haven't met before, thank you so much for joining us tonight or today, wherever you are. I'm in England. My background is nursing, and I'm also trained with Sarah as one of her meditation and mindfulness teachers within her institute. And I recommend anybody who wants to learn all the various cultures which have bubbled up that have brought spirituality forward, there could be no better training. And I also trained with Deepak Chopra and team as an Ayurvedic lifestyle educator. So I like to bring the whole lot together, and it's called the integrative health model. But at the heart of everything I do is looking at the ancient wisdoms, but it's also about how we can energize ourselves individually and collectively within our own home, within our own community, to find our way to vibrant health and conscious well-being. So we will have challenges that happen to us in our lives. Many of you know I've recently had a hip replacement, and I'm still struggling to start up. My one-year-old granddaughter, I think, is beating me to it, but it's patience. Patience is the key. But having these practices in my life has really allowed me and enabled me to go, healing takes time. And using the ancient healing wisdoms, and Susie talked about healing yesterday, it really, it works, but it just takes that little bit longer than the cure model, but the two together. So having surgery and having some beautiful pain medication, and then at the same time being able to start to mobilize gradually, is this, what I call this integrative model. So today, the word that I'm thinking about, I've been thinking about it all day, is radiance. And radiance is about light, and the light coming through from the sun. Over in England at the moment, it's snow. We've got deep white snow, so the sun reflects on the snow that adds to the radiance. And it's about the fire. So I'm seeing lightness of being, I'm seeing lightness, I'm seeing this time of the year, winter, where many of us are, lighting the fire, lighting the candles. So as I went back to consider the word radiance, and then the fire came forward, it was all about the fire. And then within Ayurveda, we call that Agni. That's the transformational aspect of turning one thing into another. So I'd just like to share a little story someone told me, which I've embellished a little a while ago about the fire and about community. And the fire, the hearth. The hearth is like the hearth is where the fire throughout millennium has been built within community. And when we discovered the fire, or the fire discovered, we started to grow because we could turn food that was inedible, cook it and make it edible. So community gathered within ancient traditions, usually around the fire, because they didn't have electricity, so it was a source of light as well. And then as we moved away from community fire, we moved into homes. The hearth was always the center part of the home, because that's where the warmth was and that's where the light was. So the chairs within the home used to move around the fire. So we used to sit in a semicircle. And then we got the television. So all the chairs moved from, Dad got closest to the fire, of course, and all the chairs moved to face the television. We moved kind of out of circle but we incorporated the television into the circle, but we still had the fire. So people used to congregate together. And as we have grown with electricity and gas and all the other fossil fuels that we have in our earth, we've moved into central heating. We've moved into aircon. We've moved into double glazing windows. And what that did was it opened up all aspects of our home so that we could start to move into other aspects because we'd have light and heat. So we started to move away from sort of the core element of all sitting around the fire at night. And then we got our computers. And in the beginning, there'd be one massive computer in the house, if there was any. But then bit by bit, as the computers got cheaper and they got smaller, we moved into different parts of our home because we then had our own devices. We had our own TV, maybe a smaller one. But within this story, what has occurred is that we have moved from the centre of this culture, of this family and this fire out, and we spread out far into our own little corners of our home. And some of the radiance, I do believe, and this is a personal belief, may have got lost because that interconnectivity of the light, the fire, the hearth has not got a central focus. In fact, a lot of new houses don't even have a fire anymore. So I'd like to just bring the idea of light and of radiance and this word hearth and of hearth and home. So looking, because I play with words, looking at the word hearth, just in your mind's eye, if you take the H off the end of hearth, you have the word heart. So we connect with our heart. Go back to the word hearth and take the H off the beginning and you've got earth. So linking the hearth, the fire, the Agni with the heart and the earth is about the lightness that we can generate within, from the earth, from the sky, through the heart, the sky, the sun. So shall we just move into the beginning of a meditation? And I've got some beautiful words by Ken Wilber. And Ken Wilber set up the integral framework where everything is integrated. So we'll start just with a very gentle awareness of light. We'll use our imagination for that. We'll then move into a centering heart meditation, connecting the heart with the earth. And then I'm going to read you some beautiful words by, I can't say his name very well, I hope I don't get it wrong. I think it's Husay, about life lives through you and the light lives through you as well. So let's take the hearth and the earth, and let's bring light into us so that we have this coherence, this lightness of being as we radiate ourselves and radiate out into the world. So thank you for joining me tonight. I'm delighted that so many people are here. And I'm going to invite you now to settle into a place of gentle meditation to begin, finding a place of comfort. So let's take a moment to do this. Settle in, feel what the temperature's like around you, and are you feeling comfortable? How does your body feel in this moment? And then I invite you to close your eyes. And I'm going to ask you to ask yourself a question, self-inquiry. And that question is, what lights me up? Ask yourself, what lights me up? Is there somebody, something that really brings light, this radiance into your life? Simply ask yourself that question. And then I invite you, with your eyes closed, to be aware of the space that you're in this moment. Your feet on the earth, you being held in the chair or the sofa or the ground, wherever you are. Feel the body. resting. Bring your attention to your heart. And I invite you to take a long, slow breath in. And notice where you're breathing. Are you breathing through the nose or the mouth? Can you feel your chest rising on the in-breath and your chest falling? And we do this mindfully without any judgment. It's simply about the awareness. Where's your attention in this moment? Breathing in and out, just gently, just naturally. When we're slowly settling down our nervous system as we find in comfort in the moment. And I'd like you to now, if you're able to breathe in and out through the nose. Notice the warm air leaving the body as you breathe out. Notice the cooler air as you breathe in. And then take your attention to your tongue. And again, if this is comfortable for you, we're sealing the energy circuit within the mouth. So pressing gently the tip of the tongue behind the upper front teeth. So releasing the jaw, pressing the tongue gently against the palate, pressing the tip of the tongue against that little ridge we call the fire point. And in this space now, I'd like you to imagine that there is a beautiful radiant light above your head. And it goes on into infinity. Whatever colour that light is for you, see if you can use your imagination that the whole of above the top of your head is a bright, radiant light. And I'd like you on the next in-breath to breathe in this radiant light, feel it filling your face, feel it filling your heart space, and feel it filling your upper and lower belly, right to the base of the spine, the seat. And as you breathe out, feel that light moving all the way up the spine, so it leaves right at the top of the head. So as you breathe in this light, feel it filling the face, the neck, the chest, the belly, all the way to the tip of the spine. And on the out-breath, feel it move the light all the way up the back of the spine, through the head, right to the head at the top. So do this in your own time, with your own breath. Find your natural rhythm. Breathing in through the face, the neck, the chest, the belly to the base of the spine, and breathing out, taking that light all the way up the spine, out the top of the head. And as you do this a few times, if you find your mind wanders, bring this pointed attention back to this beautiful light and breathe it in. Feel it fill you. Feel the feeling of light within. As you breathe out, let the spine enliven all the way to the top of the head. And imagine it just disappears out into infinite space. You're breathing the life into the spine. You're breathing life into the organs of the body, the heart, the area around the stomach, all the areas, all the way down to the base of the spine, and then you're energizing these organs. It's one unbroken current, breathing in, down to the base of the spine, out, back up the spine. For the next minute, let us do this in silence. Let this go and just stay with the gentle flow of the natural breath. But stay with this sensation and this feeling of lightness. In the hearth is the fire burning bright, bringing in the light. So we move our attention now all the way down our legs, relaxing our upper legs, our knees, our lower legs, and our feet, so that our feet is resting on the earth, bringing in the magnetic field into our being. Imagine your feet are actually on the earth. So returning this sensation of lightness from the earth back up to the hearth, around the base of the spine, our foundation place, and then move this awareness up to the heart, this lightness of being across the chest, and relax the chest a little more. The heart beats to the rhythm of universal forces. And we're uniting the air that we're breathing with the fire, which creates the breath. It creates the warm breath within that we've been breathing out. And this energetic force of the warm breath within the body energizes and brings oneness into every cell of our body. We are fully alive. Life is living through us. So breathing in through the heart space, breathing out through the heart space. Taking the breath and breathing all the way down into the relaxed belly. And breathing out through the belly. So to the place of the hearth, which is the foundation, the base of the spine. Breathing in and out and relaxing as you do this. Feeling the energetic pull of the life force. As we quieten the mind and relax the body, we become more aware of this life force coursing through us. So again, finding your own rhythm. I invite you within this meditation of hearth and home to invoke the mantra Om, which is in the center of home, or I am. So saying silently to yourself on the in and the out breath, either Om or I am. Let's enjoy 5 minutes of silent flow meditation. Now, I'll watch the time and then I'll bring you back into a further enlivening meditation. So stay with this breath. If you find that your mind wanders, simply bring it back to the center and the mantra Om or I am. I invite you to let the mantra drop and simply rest in this radiant, expanded awareness, in the stillness that resides within. Within this space, the radiant space that we all reside in at this moment, know that light and life lives through you. And as we're in this space of one heartbeat, we move into this sense of rhythmic oneness through the heart and the earth interconnected, through the earth DNA, through our own DNA. We beat in rhythm. And as we do this, we radiate every cell in our body towards health and healing. So let's, in this moment, slowly start to energize ourselves. And with us being light, we need now to ground ourselves. So press the feet gently into the earth. Feel the earth supporting you, the gravitational field that supports our whole system. Press into the earth. Feel around you. Feel where you're being held by the chair, the space around you, and maybe press your seat or your back into the place that's holding you, and you feel that connection between you and Mother Earth, or you and whatever's holding you in place. Know that you're safe. So your feet are pressing in the ground, your seat and your back are pressing into the seat that's holding you. Take your attention to the heart and feel the beat of the heart. Or maybe feel it in the neck or in the hands. Feel that radiant life force. Very subtle, knowing that life lives through you. And then wiggle your fingers and toes. Let's start energizing. Let's start a little bit of movement. We come out of meditation slowly, so keep your eyes closed. Wiggling our toes and our fingers. Let's rub our hands very gently together. And I love it when we clap our fingertips together and our palms together, just gently stimulating the acupressure points within the hands. And then your eyes are still closed. I invite you to stop clapping your hands, but on the next in-breath, take a long mindful stretch and really expand around the space. Maybe all the way up to this light that we imagined at the top of our heads. Stretch on the in-breath and then bring your hands down into your lap or into prayer position. Just rest with your eyes closed. Take the chin down a little so you feel the stretch in the back of the neck. And we always come out of meditation really slowly. This is the part that's so beautiful because we're taking the inner experience and radiating it out into the world. So stay where you are at the moment, and I'd love to read these beautiful words by somebody called Hokusei. He was born in 1760 in Japan, and he's an artist. But some of his words, he painted something called The Wave, and his words have been translated. I'd love to share these with you now. Hokusei says, look carefully. He says, pay attention, notice. He says, keep looking, stay curious. There is no end to seeing. He says, look forward to getting old. He says, keep changing. You just get more who you really are. He says, get stuck, accept it. Repeat yourself as long as it is interesting. He says, keep doing what you love. He says, keep praying. He says, every one of us is a child. Every one of us is ancient. Every one of us has a body. He says, every one of us is frightened. He says, every one of us has to find a way to live with fear. He says, everything is alive. Shells, buildings, people, fish, mountains, trees, wood is alive. Water is alive. Everything has its own life. Everything lives inside us. He says, live with the world inside you. He says, it doesn't matter if you draw or write books. It doesn't matter if you saw wood or catch fish. It doesn't matter if you sit at home and stare at the ants on the veranda or the shadows of the trees and grasses in your garden. It matters that you care. It matters that you feel. It matters that you notice. It matters that life lives through you. Contentment in life living through you. Joy is life living through you. Satisfaction and strength is life living through you. He says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Love. Feel. Let life take you by the hand. Let life live through you. So embedding that, the radiance of life living through you. Staying with that feeling of lightness in every cell of your body, energizing you. And when you're ready, I invite you to slowly open your eyes. Look where you are in your room. Maybe look around you to bring yourselves into this grounded focus. And maintaining that feeling of lightness within for the rest of the day or the evening, wherever you are in the world. Because when we fill ourselves with this lightness, we automatically radiate it out, as the sun radiates it out all the time. So I'd like you please to stop the recording, and we'll have an opportunity to move into